Welcome back to this new video here on Altcoin Rover. On today's video, I'm gonna talk about my portfolio. This is my exact altcoin portfolio and Bitcoin and Ethereum as it currently stands. I am planning to do more updates in the future about this portfolio, so don't forget to right now subscribe to the channel with the bell notification enabled, because that way you're gonna stay up to date on my portfolio. As well, in today's video, I'm gonna exactly explain about why I made the decision to choose these tokens as well. So without any further ado, make sure to subscribe to this new channel that I just started out. I'm trying to post every single week over here, and let me start straight away off it. Of course, Bitcoin, super simple. Why do I hold Bitcoin? Is because I believe in the principles of Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently Bitcoin is 32% of my portfolio. Ethereum is 12. I'm not going to go too much in depth about it because, of course, everyone already knows what Bitcoin and Ethereum is. But the reason why I still have like more than 45% of my portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum is that I see Bitcoin and Ethereum as a safe investment. And my strategy as well in the coming bull run is to cash out on these altcoins and to move my profits either into stable coins or into Bitcoin or Ethereum, and mainly Bitcoin. And that is why Bitcoin is also currently the biggest position in my portfolio. But whenever I think altcoin season could really start, I'm gonna go even more out of Bitcoin and more into certain projects I actually do believe in. So the strategy is, of course, to maximize the profits using altcoins. So the first two altcoins, Matic and Arbitrum, are of course not necessarily new ones. Probably you already know them, but the reason why I think that Matic is going to be doing very well again in the upcoming bull run is that basically every single time these layer 1s / layer 2s, they tend to be performing always good in the bull market, and also some other narratives tends to go, but layer 1 and 2, but layer 0, 1 and 2, they always tend to be performing well. As well, Matic, they have been developing quite a lot here. Last bull run, they already proven themselves to be a very sustainable and reliable layer 2 solution. So honestly, since they've been holding also up in the price quite well, I do really expect that Matic is going to be a very good performer. And usually what we also tend to see, to straight away go in towards the next one, Arbitrum. Usually these new projects, because this is what every single time happens. If a layer 2 protocol launches in the bear market, it tends to be doing so well in the next bull run because it's a new narrative, it's got a new chart, it's hitting new all-time highs all the time, and people get super excited about it. Because you also have to understand the narrative from the perspective from the regular people that are just jumping in retail. So Arbitrum is, of course, first of all, a very good protocol. They've been working very long about it and on it. It's currently sitting around $1.4 billion market cap. Realistically speaking, I think it could do a 10x, but I really think that's why I also allocated an approximately 4% of my portfolio towards it, is that Arbitrum could do very well, and it's not a very big risk here. Currently, it's sitting around P50. So honestly, I am personally expecting it could climb up as high as P10 even in the upcoming bull run. So I think Arbitrum could be an easy 10 to 15x here. And I see like Arbitrum is very similar, like buying Cardano in the last bull run. Only Arbitrum has already got a working product. So that is why I really like it quite a lot. And I see this as a safe investment for myself. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever. I'm just sharing you what I am doing. Then here, GMX. This is a little bit of a lower cap altcoin. It's only sitting around $500 million. So it's like, what is it? Only 33% of the market cap of Arbitrum. It's also sitting on P120. So it's got quite a lot of upside potential. But the reason why I've also allocated more than 4% of my portfolio towards GMX is purely due to the fact that GMX is a DEX with the highest liquidity, the biggest user base, and it fits the narrative, because it's super important to understand the narrative of the next bull run. What we're seeing right now is that more and more of these exchanges are implying and have to imply this KYC mandatory thing here, and you can't leverage trade with a lot of leverage anymore in the future. And due to that, I am super bullish on GMX because I am bullish on human greed. That is literally where I'm bullish on. And that is why I'm bullish on GMX, because I think that exchanges tend to do very well, and especially in exchange tokens do very well with the exchanges as well. So I honestly think GMX is quite good here. Also, what I like, this is what I like about all the altcoins that I'm buying, is that it is launched in the bear market. Usually coins that launched in the bear market that don't have a big track record of big holders that could dump potentially in the future, tend to do very well here. And honestly, I really believe in towards it, and it's 4% of my portfolio that I allocated towards it, so that's quite a lot here. But honestly, I think it could do super well. Then the next one off the list is going to be Render. Render is also a super undervalued project. I've talked about Render also in the bear market, literally where it was sitting around, what was it, about $1.50. I've talked about it, $1.40. Render basically once again fits the narrative. It uses GPU and AI, and honestly, AI looks to be the big next narrative, also in the classic broader, also in the stock market, but also in crypto. So Render, I think, really suits it. Also sitting around $1.4 billion in market cap, similar towards Arbitrum. So due to the market cap, my price target for Render as well is also sitting somewhere around a 10 to 15x in the upcoming bull run. Then once again, the next coin I've also invested more than 4% of my portfolio in towards is Arthur Protocol. This one has significantly dipped towards the downside. It's sitting on P500, only $58 million market cap. And just a while ago, like 1.5 months ago, we saw a big hack on the Tor browser, and due to that, it dropped more than 80% in price. It was a big hack. They lost a lot of momentum in terms of price, but the only reason why I'm buying this, guys, and many of these coins that I'm currently buying, I have to clarify, I am buying them purely due to fundamental reasons and not necessarily on how the chart is looking. Because if you want to be winning with altcoins, it's all about a game of information. It's all about how much do you know about a certain project. And honestly, I've done a deep dive into this project. I know many people that are super excited about it, and I know a big team that invested heavily in towards this. So I really think it will do very well. And honestly, if I'm looking at my price targets for this is a little bit more of a higher risk one, but potentially as well, it's got most certainly way higher returns on it as well. It's an AI project focused on privacy, built on Tor. I think it could be doing very well. It's sitting at a very low market cap. I know a lot of gem hunters that are also super bullish on this project. I think the hack is a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time, it gives me a very good opportunity to actually buy in towards this relatively cheap. So I bought this literally a few days ago. I literally bought it around this price we're currently trading on, a little bit higher, so I'm down a little bit. But honestly, I don't really care about that I'm currently down on it, because it's all about what I'm trying to prepare for the next bull run. Because you can't imagine how high potentially these altcoins could go if the narrative is going to be fitting it and if the bull run really comes. So that is why I am allocating 4% towards this project. Then once again, guys, I've picked some more lower cap altcoins and some higher cap altcoins to basically balance out my portfolio, to manage the risk, and also to manage the potential results of this portfolio as well. So I've also invested 4% of my portfolio in towards AGRS, also a coin I am super bullish on. Once again, this project also fits the narrative. It's once again AI, and you can see that just these AI coins have been performing good in the bear market. Once again, also this coin, it has been around for quite a while, but they've been working on AI for such a long period of time. It is actually starting to go quite exponential this time around, but honestly, due to the track record, I'm actually quite bullish about it as well. But this coin is also quite significantly deflationary. It is very low in market cap. The volume is quite decent. And I am just thinking this one as well is a potential 50x coin here. I think these coins, that is why I allocated also a little bit more money towards it, because I think the potential is extremely high. The downside is, of course, also there, but I'm willing to take the risk, and I think it could generate life-changing wealth if I do make the profit with it. So it's currently down 10% today. It's not that I care too much about what is happening today, what is happening tomorrow, but honestly, this coin already saw a significant uptick, but I think this coin is not going up without any reason. And honestly, I think it does has a lot of potential towards the upside. So the last coin that I actually allocated 4% towards before I'm dropping down to the 3% region is Tenant, a layer 1 protocol. And just like I said in the beginning, layer 1s, layer 0s, and layer 2s, they tend to be performing super good in the bull run. And Tenant is maybe a golden gem out there that is sitting around only $25 million market cap. So once again, a pretty low cap altcoin compared to these. So once again, relatively low. And just like I said in the beginning of the video, if something does well in the bull run, it is always layer zeros, layer ones, and layer twos. And Tenant is a layer 1 protocol that has been working pretty good here. I currently have invested a significant amount in towards it. I actually also managed to be buying the dip. This coin is also listed on BYBIT and on some other major exchanges. And I also know the founders of the project. And the founders of Tenant are also the same founders as Cardano. And that really makes it very interesting for me, because Cardano was a coin that absolutely went towards the sky in the last bull run. So I do think that the CEO and the founders behind this project do know how to get the user base and also the pump behind the project. So I honestly think that this is once again a big gem here out there. Honestly, super excited about it, and I really think it is going to be exploding in the next bull run. Once again, I allocated 4%, quite a lot towards it, but it's because I think the risk is at relatively low. Just once again pointing out, guys, this is just my portfolio, and I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever. I'm taking some risk right here, but I think I could make a significant return from it. Now I'm gonna go over towards the 3% of my portfolio region, and those are 4 coins. Why only 3% towards these coins? I'm gonna be explaining it right now as well. First of all, every coin that I allocated towards my portfolio, I'm bullish on. And it doesn't mean that if I allocated only 1%, I'm a little bit less bullish, but it's just purely because I think the 4% coins have higher potential and potential also lower risk. So it's all about the risk to reward ratio. So the first one is prop chain. I have been investing into prop chain ever since day one. I've been tweeting about it as well. This is a real world asset coin. It's only 22 million US dollar market cap. Once again, a pretty low cap gem. I've currently invested a significant amount in towards this project. It's 3%. It's still quite a lot here. It's still a significant amount, but I really think that these coins could rather do like a 10 to 15x, and potentially it has some downside, right? So I am also bullish on the narrative real world assets, and prop chain is basically investing into real estate through crypto, and that is why I'm super bullish on it. I'm bullish on the narrative. It's a working product as well, and that is very bullish and important for the next bull run. And once again, it launched in the previous bear market, and that is a thing I really like about some of these projects. They launched in the bear market, and they've got a very good team behind it. So super bullish on prop chain. I think my targets for this is easy a 10 to 20x in the next bull run. I think it's a conservative target, but those are the targets I'm really going to step out towards it. So if it hits every $30 to $40, I am definitely going out of prop chain. Not necessarily 100%, but I'm going to be taking out some profits to once again move it back towards Bitcoin or potentially some other altcoins. Polkadot, very, very important. Everyone, of course, knows about it. It's been down quite massively compared to these other protocols, but I think Polkadot is really starting to be picking up again here. Still 10 billion US dollars in market cap, P13, still very highly ranked. And of course, I think the ecosystem of Polkadot is working very well. So I see this also as a lower risk, and that is why I allocated it towards the 3% portfolio size. I think that Polkadot is a relatively low risk altcoin, but still could perform like a 5 to 10x in the next bull run. I don't expect it's going to do like a 50x, but I still think it could give us a relatively safe return on it. So honestly, super bullish on Polkadot. 5 to 10x is my realistic target. 5 to 10x on Polkadot is my realistic target right here. I think it makes sense as a target. The volume is decent. The project is very good, but I just don't think it's really suits towards my 4% portfolio balance, because I still think that Bitcoin potentially could even outperform it, because I still feel like Bitcoin is a little bit lower risk than Polkadot and potentially could still outperform it. Then of course we've got XRP. I still also think this coin has a relatively low downside, and the upside potential is quite decent, but you have to understand it's already a 35 billion US dollar market cap coin. I mean, they finally settled all the lawsuits. So realistically speaking, I think it could be outperforming Bitcoin in the coming bull run, but it doesn't really gives you the at least 100 or 50x's, right? I think like a 5x could be a decent target for XRP, like $3 or $4 is a very realistic target. So yeah, I have to have it in my portfolio, but I'm not super bullish on it, but it is just more to have a more diverse portfolio and to be exposed towards it, because I think the downside is relatively low. So the chance that I'm really going to be losing money on it, I don't really think it's going to be there, but I just want to be trying to get that potential upside as well. So where I think there is a little bit more upside is, of course, Algorand. This is the last coin of the 3% coins. Algorand, also 1.5 billion US dollar market cap. It's been well known in the last bull market. It has been going down quite significantly. It's been also around since the bear market of 2019, where it went down absolutely massively. I think Algorand is also such a project that has been very sustainable. They've been improving quite a lot, and I think it deserves a spot in the portfolio, and it deserves a spot in the 3% region. Why is because, once again, I think this is compared to XRP, the downside risk is relatively low, and the upside risk is a little bit high, and the upside potential is a little bit higher than XRP. But I really think this coin could easily do like a 10 to 15x in the bull run, and that will be outperforming Bitcoin. So that is why I have allocated 3% towards it. So honestly, the 3% coins, they're not super excited. Only PropChain is really an exciting coin that could do potentially very well. But outside of that, I think these coins are quite boring. But let me right now go in towards the 2% region. What are 5 coins right now? And all these coins right here, I think could be doing quite well here. But Cardano. So let me start off with 1 inch. 1 inch, I'm super bullish on it. Let me explain why. Once again, it fits the narrative. Everything is getting KYC'd. I think decentralized exchanges are going to be doing very well. And a DEX like 1 inch that is working potentially a little bit better sometimes than Uniswap could just perform very, very well. This one as well, only 400 million US dollars in market cap. I think it has been already proving itself as a working. It has already proved itself as a working product. It has been around also in the last bull run. It did perform in the beginning of the bull run, DeFi hype, very good. And honestly, I think DeFi is a really upcoming. I think DeFi is also a really upcoming narrative. So I think 1 inch suits in it. Just like, once again, it's down massively, so the sell pressure is quite reduced. It's been around for a little bit longer. It launched in the previous bull run, but it's a coin. I'm super excited about it because the chart is looking good. The total value locked in the exchange is also very good. So I think the downside risk is relatively low and the upside potential is extremely high. Cardano, it's maybe a coin I've got in my portfolio because it's a little bit of thing that really plays in my emotions, because I bought first of all Cardano on 2 cents. It was a very long time ago in 2019, 2020. I bought Cardano a very long time ago. In that time it was sitting around 2 cents here, and it was of course a super exciting and significant return. I also sold everything on $2.80, what was maybe one of my best sales ever out there. I did make a significant amount of money with it, but you have to understand, in the last bear market I wasn't as rich as I currently am, so I think I could be making more money in the future. But Cardano definitely made me a fortune. I still think it deserves a spot in my portfolio because the total value locked in Cardano is massively increasing. It's a protocol that has been improving, that's getting worked on, and is actually getting adoption, and the community is very good. So once again, also with Cardano, I think the downside is relatively low with potential high upside, and that is why it deserves a spot in the portfolio. Uniswap is the next one that also has got a 2% allocation. Uniswap is comparable with 1 inch, but what the difference is that basically Uniswap is a little bit more used, and also the Uniswap market cap is also significantly higher. Uniswap was also a coin I got in very, very early, what I of course absolutely loved. So Uniswap went up to $42 in the bull run, and in the pre-bull run stage it was just sitting around $2. So there's like a 25x. So honestly, I don't think it's gonna do a 25x again here, but I think earlier it's going to be 1 inch that's going to be performing a little bit better. But what we saw last bull run is that first Uniswap went, and then it was 1 inch. So I think we could see something similar again in this bull run. So Uniswap definitely deserves a place in there because I'm just bullish on DeFi in general. Then we've got Filecoin. This is just a new rebranded altcoin. They just listed, and of course previously they were known as TFK. They did very well in the last bull run. They just did a complete rebrand. And honestly, this project, the founders of this project, they know how to run it. And that is why I'm bullish on it. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, trading altcoins is a game of trading information. The more information you have, the more likely it is that you're going to be winning. So I know the founders of this project. I met with them and I'm honestly super excited about it because they also did super well in the last bull run. They know how to run stuff. So that is why I have this in my portfolio. Once again, I think, yeah, there's potential downside on this project. The market cap is relatively still low. So the upside is way higher than the downside. So I'm taking a risk, of course, with this, but I just think it's going to be performing very well. Then Front. Front is the last coin in the 2% region, guys. And this is also a coin that's got very good pumponomics. It's sitting on P700 on market cap, only $31 million US currently in market cap. I bought this coin in approximately, what is it, like around 21 cents. So that was quite a while ago here. It was in this beginning of this move here. So it was in September I bought it. Around 21 cents I bought it. And then of course it went all the way up here to approximately 60 cents. So 3x, but I'm still holding, have not sold anything of it. Because, once again, a game of information. They are launching their mainnet, I think next week or in 2 weeks from now on. But the mainnet is quite revolutionary. And I think it could be doing very well again here. Just like I said in the beginning, I think especially lower cap layer 0s, layer 1s, layer 2s, they are going to be doing very well. And that is why I think Frontier, better said, Front, is going to do very well. I think the price is looking very good. They've been around in the last bull run, and that's the thing I like a little bit less, but they went to an approximately $4. I think they could be beating it in this time around. Honestly, I think a 10 to 30x is a relatively realistic target in my opinion, with relatively low downs. But honestly, I won't be surprised that they are going to be going towards these new highs here and potentially even break above it. So I'm super bullish about the project. I think the fundamentals are very good. And let me right now go in towards the 1% region. Why I allocated 1% to all these coins here. And now it's going to start to get a little bit interesting because some of these coins are extremely high risk and some of them are not. And I'm going to be explaining right now. I think a lower risk altcoin is AVAX. I don't really think that AVAX is going to be doing so well here. And that is why I decided to allocate some more funds to some other projects. I think everyone already knows what AVAX is here. It's well established. It could do like a 2 or 3x maybe, or maybe a 5x in the next bull run. But I don't think it's going to do these 100x's. So I think it deserves a spot in the portfolio, but not such of a big spot. So I have only 1% into AVAX is because I just don't think it's going to perform so strong. But I have allocated, and I bought this on $2 a very long time ago. So it was first less than 1% of my portfolio. I bought it as a funny joke. And it's actually up 30% today, what is quite interesting. I didn't know. That's quite a lot. But now it's sitting around $6, what is of course absolutely massive. So why FTX 1%? It's a little bit more of an, I bought this because I think is going to be doing well. Why? Is because Solana's been going up, and FTX, they hold a lot of money in Solana, so they've got a lot of money right now. So they could sell it and of course pump up their own token, and what they're going to be doing is they're going to relaunch their exchange. So I think it's going to be doing very well, honestly. So I bought this around $2, $1.50. I'm up quite like a 4x right now here in the past. I bought it like 180 days ago, something like that, half a year ago. But I'm up significantly right now, and it deserves a spot because I think the downside is relatively low. We already formed that bottom structure. This was a clear, like we dumped like so heavily and we didn't go below that $1 mark. So I think really that's the bottom. And honestly, I think especially since they're relaunching, it could potentially really come back towards the upside again here. So I think the downside is like maximally is going to be going down to $1, or it's going to go back up to $30. So it could be an easy 30x. And since it has been so big in the past, and since FTX is finding money left and right, I think it could still do very well. So another coin that, of course, is a little bit very risky is Terra Classic. And I currently have quite a lot of it. I actually bought some more before I was recording this video, because it right now is approximately 1% of my portfolio. I think Luna is going to come back up. And I think Terra is also going to go back to $1. And this is a very bad decision, potentially, or a very good one. So I don't really see this as a good investment, but just more as a play. I see this as a play. Potentially, I could be making a significant amount of money from it because it's going to be a 25x if it's just repegging, what could be very likely in the bull run, because I'm just bullish on human greed. And I just expect people to be going back into Luna again and into UST. I really expect it. So I'm bullish on human greed, and that is I'm bullish on UST. I'm taking a big risk. I'm really advising no one to do this, but I think I'm going to make a 25x on it. So I bought some more extra on it today. It's actually going up here again, so that's absolutely lovely. This is a very high risk one. That is why it's only 1%, because I can afford to lose this money. But if you can't afford to lose any money, I would definitely not recommend this. Another very bullish narrative, Filecoin. I think Filecoin is going to be doing very well purely due to the narrative. I only allocated 1% towards it. Why? Is because I feel like it's got too many bag holders and it could provide significant sell pressure. So it's down significantly from its all-time high, 98% still. Lowest point was $2.60. It's only up 90%. So I still think like from its lowest point, it's up not that aggressively. So I think the upside is still there. And I don't think that it is too late to buy it. But it is just already so big. So it's not going to give it crazy returns. But I just want to have some exposure towards it. The next one is Tap Finance. The reason why I'm holding Tap is because Tap is a fully regulated exchange in the UK, and especially with the UK crackdown going on, I really think that Tap could adopt a lot of users and their coin could be doing as well very well. So just purely, once again, I think because this is only $50 million US market cap, it could easily do a 100x. If it really turns out to be that the UK is really going to be embracing crypto using the Tap app, what is a very likely scenario in my personal own opinion. And the UK got a lot of money, so the Tap price could be also going up significantly. So I hold on approximately 1% of my portfolio currently in it. In 2020, it was sitting around 25 cents. So just imagine how high it could go. It's currently down 98%, but it's already up 2,500% since its lowest point. And honestly, I think this coin could be doing very well as well in the next bull run, but it's 1% because it's still a risk that's going to go to zero. But I just want to have that little bit of exposure towards it, since it could still potentially give me that 100x. And if it's just 1% of my portfolio, it could literally go towards 100% of my total portfolio worth, right? So that is definitely something I do not want to miss. Definitely something I do not want to miss here. Next one is Phantom. Phantom also 1% in the portfolio. I feel like Phantom could be doing good. It has been performing nice in the last bull run, but it's down massively. And once again, it's only 1% because it's already been around for such a long time. So it's got a lot of back holders. That's a positive and negative thing about it. The problem with Phantom is that I do see more downside risk than some other projects, and the upside risk is not exceptionally well, but I do want to get exposed to it because I like the protocol and I think it's going to do well again in the next bull run. So yeah, 1%. I think it could do maximum like a 15 to 10x here in the next bull run, potentially even more. And then the last one is Solana. Why only 1%, people say? Is because the upside is not that great compared to the potential downside. And it sounds a little bit weird because Solana has been going up like 500% year to from its lowest point year to date, or like 500, maybe 400%, but it went up significantly. But I don't think it's going to be performing that well anymore in the next bull run, because we've got a lot of big bag holders as well. FTX, they hold a massive amount of Solana that they're probably going to sell off. And there are just a lot of very rich investors in it that potentially could sell off Solana. The ecosystem is okay, but it's more centralized than decentralized. I think it's very accessible for a lot of people. The Solana fund has been a big flop, but they've got a lot of money. And the volume is also so significantly high that they're making a lot of money as well. So Solana, I think it deserves a spot in the portfolio. The community is very strong, but I don't think it's going to do a 100x. And the downside risk is also there. So it deserves a spot in the portfolio due to its strong community, but I don't want to be holding so much of it because I just don't think it's going to be worth the risk for me. And I would rather risk it on some other projects. So this was it for me on today's video on my portfolio. And guys, as well on this channel, well, this was a very long video, but I will update you guys if I'm going to be adding some new coins here. I will update you guys on some new deep dives and some new projects if I do see them. Because I really think that once altcoin season is going to start, I'm going to, of course, allocate more money and we could even make more money with it. So stay up to date on the channel, subscribe to the channel right now, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.